Who want to volunteer to read this?
Could I read, Prabhu?
Okay, Karim.
Om Ajnanatimidhamsa Om Ajnanatimidhamsa Janakaya Sakalakaya
Janan, yeah.
Chakshurunmitamem
This is Janan, Jana.
Jana Jana Sakalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Or the I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Namo Om Vishnu Pradaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvesha Sunyavadi Vasachaya Tishachatarine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. Um, you are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering to the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Panchatattva mantra.
Yeah?
Uh, the Panchatattva mantra is not going up. Okay. Um, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa and all others in line of devotion. Um, Maha Mantra. Maha means great and mantra means sacred chant of deliverance for deliverance. Of all mantras in the Vedas, one is called the Maha Mantra or great mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The word Hare pronounced as Hare, Krishna pronounced as Krishna, rhymes with drama are Sanskrit words. The Hare is an address to God's energy known as Radha, and Krishna is the name of God, meaning he who is attractive to everyone. Rama means one who gives pleasure and enjoys life, which, when chanted, the Maha Mantra is a petition to God. O Krishna, O energy of Krishna, please engage me in your service.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Namaskar.
Okay, welcome to level 2, chapter 3 of the Gita Gyan. So we take the respect from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the right and Nityananda Prabhu on the left, and we chant our regular mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We take the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and ask them to bless us that we can become good devotees and we cannot come back to this material world ever again. So we also take the blessings of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So then one day, one of the devotees asked Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, if we are not pure devotees, how we can go to the spiritual world? Prabhupada said, don't worry. You just hold on to my dhoti and I will bring you all back to the spiritual world, even if you are not pure devotees. So long as you have the faith in the Guru and faith in Krishna, and you do your best to follow the instructions of Guru and Krishna, even if you are not pure devotee, you can go back to the spiritual world. That's what Prabhupada said. So in this way, don't be so worried. So long as you are sincere in your desire and sincere to Guru and to Krishna, you will go back. You know. Okay, who would like to read this? Harimala, you do?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Understanding of Gita. Arjuna was in a relationship with the Lord as friend. Of course, there is a gulf of difference between this friendship and the friendship found in the material world. This is transcendental friendship, which cannot be had by everyone. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord, and that relationship is invoked by the perfection of devotional service. But in the present status of our life, not only have we forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord. Every living being out of the many billions and trillions of living beings has a particular relationship with the Lord eternally. That is called Swarupa. By the process of devotional service, one can revive that Swarupa, and that stage is called Swarupa Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjuna was a devotee and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in friendship. Introduction to Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Thank you, man. So here Arjuna is a relationship, friendship as to the Lord as a friend. We can have so many types of friends. We can have friends who will maybe badminton friends. People play badminton, or we can have friends in our workplace. We can even friends. Some of them who like drinking and smoking will have friends who go drinking and smoking. So all types of friends we have. We can also have friends who like to go to temple and read the Gita. So that is also types of friends you have. You in your life you will have so many different types of friends, but some types of friends you have to give up. Like the example, the drinking and the smoking type of friend. If you want to progress in spiritual life, you have to give up because finally you can give up drinking and smoking also. Otherwise, it is not possible, right? So these type of things are addictive and they bind you to the material world. So you have to take another life again. But if you are addicted to spiritual things, it's a very good chance for you to not come back to this material world. So here again, we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord because we are in this material world for so many lifetimes. But fortunately, we are now in contact with Krishna consciousness, and Krishna is directly speaking to us through the Gita. And if we are smart enough, we will take it and follow it and have a successful. We will go get our Swarupa. Our Swarupa means the original position, our original position in the spiritual world. with devotional service, you can get back that Swarupa. And the stage is called Swarupa Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjuna was a devotee and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in a friendship. Most of us would like to be friends with Krishna. Some of you would like to be like parental. Some of you like to be like servant. Some of you like even to be like close loving lovers with the Lord. Krishna accepts all types of love, you know. But there is one difference between material love and the spiritual love. In a material love, you have also sex involved. In the spiritual world, there is no sex because there is no procreation. So there is no reason for sex in the spiritual world. But the spiritual world, you will have a lot of enjoyment. It is a different kind of enjoyment. It is not the bondage type of enjoyment. Bondage type of enjoyment will bind you to the material world. In the spiritual world, you have an elevated, yes, it's like, it's very pure, it's very beautiful. The consciousness is nice. Your divineness is there. Your love is there. This is not artificial love, not temporary love. It is permanent love. And permanent love, and you are so happy loving everyone, and everyone is so happy loving you back. So that is the real consciousness. One lady bought a book, Bhagavad Gita, Malay girl. So then we sent to her lah. Since she buy myself sent. So then she was reading and then she said, and then she came to that part about she asked the question later. She messaged me. Is there sex in the spiritual world? I said there's no sex because there is no need for procreation. That sex desire is here because there is a need for procreation, and it binds you once, binds a person to actually, if it is what you call addictive type of sex, it will bind you to the material world. Okay. Okay, we are doing karma yoga now, and Arjuna's doubt, renunciation of work. So we come to chapter 3, verse. Okay, who would like to read this first one? Volunteer?
May I read, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay.
You can do on your own, or you need my guidance.
Sir, I'll try on my own, sir.
Okay. If any mistake, I will stop you. Okay. Right.
Sure, no problem, sir. No problem. Thank you. Arjuna Uvacha Jayasi Cheta Karmanas Te Mata Buddhir Janardana Tatkim Karmani Ghore Mam Niyojayasi Keshava.
One minute.
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear this te. Did you read the te? Karmana?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Karmanas Te Mata.
Mata, okay. Because I don't know, I didn't get it. Okay, carry on.
Okay, sir. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? If you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So Arjuna is asking, oh Krishna, oh Kesava, why you want me to be in this terrible war? Firstly, you must understand that Arjuna is a warrior. So if Krishna don't engage Arjuna as in this ghastly war, he's going to engage the farmer or the Brahmin in the war? Of course not. If you have that, if you are a warrior, if you are a soldier, you will be engaged in this war. There is a need for a war. So, but this Arjuna is still thinking, I don't want to kill, I don't want to kill. My mind is very unsettled. So he said, he's trying his best to ask. Actually, internally, they already know that you have to fight because you're a warrior. But externally, his mind is deluded. He's trying to find reason not to fight. And maybe Krishna will say, okay. So that is the quality of us. We always, sometimes when we don't like something, we don't like to do something, we will try and find a way not to do it. And then we will hope that the Lord will say, okay, it's fine. You don't need to do, and you still can come back to the spiritual world. But it doesn't work like that. You have to come to a certain stage. Correct or not? Some things you have to do to get what you want. If you want to be a lawyer, you have to go through law school. You like it or not. Same way, if you have to do your duty. Okay, who would like to read this? We got a lot of verses, so everyone please come forward.
Me, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Krishna here.
Yes, Krishna. You need help or you can manage?
I think I can. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
Speak louder a bit, because you're so bit of your voice.
Okay.
Okay,
Vyamisrineva vakyena buddhim mohaya sivame tadekam vadat nishchitya yena shreyo ham apnuyam. My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions.
Louder, louder.
My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficially for me.
Yeah. So at least Arjuna is very intelligent. He is doubting. So he said, anyway, you please tell me decisively. I don't feel like fighting. I hope that you will say, okay, but anyway, I leave it to you. So this is a good quality. If we have this, okay, never mind. This is how I think, Krishna, but still I surrender unto you. You tell me, okay? Okay, who would like to read 3.3 from the book and 3.4 on the board?
I will read Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Text 3. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical, philosophical speculation, and others by devotional service. 3.4. Prabhu, can I follow you?
Yeah, Sri Bhagavan Vacha
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Karmanam Anaramban
Na Karmanam Anaramban
Naiskaryam Puruso Snute
Naiskarmyam Puruso Nute Snude
Nacha Sanyasanat Eva
Nacha Sanya Sanat Eva
Siddhim Samadhichati.
Siddhim Samadhikachati. The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So 3.3, what Krishna says that, O sinners Arjuna, there are two types of people who are trying to become perfect. Realize the self means trying to be perfect in spiritual life. Some will be using their mental ability to find out what is truth and what is untruth. And there's another type of people who do by devotional service. That means they go and they surrender onto a guru, and also from the advice of the guru, and they surrender onto the Supreme Lord. They try and perfect themselves. There are two types. And then here Krishna says, So he says that not by abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction. That means if you don't work, does not mean that you will get no reaction. If Arjuna did not fight, he will get reaction. So that's why Krishna says what you're thinking is wrong. You know, you don't do your duty, you will get reaction. And you just by renunciation, Arjuna said, I don't want to fight, I will just go and do devotional service. He said, you cannot get perfection like that. It's not in your situation. You know, even the Brahmana, he cannot just be doing spiritual chanting and doing puja in the temple. What is the Brahmana's another quality? He is supposed to be preaching about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and teaching all the other sectors of the society about God, about how to perfect yourself and how to go back to the spiritual world. So in a way, what I'm doing is Brahminical duty. You understand, no? Teaching everyone to go back, how to understand the Gita and go back. So this is the real qualification of a Brahmana, not just doing puja, do the ceremonies and get money. That is not full. This is not full. You are not being a full Brahmana. You are only becoming a self-centered Brahmana. This is so. If you want to be Brahmana, you cannot think just by going to temple, chanting, and then doing the puja and offering. That's all. No, you also have to do the other things, which is the more important among all, is to make sure that the other people also understand about God. This is the situation. So now you see, when you go temple, you must have the Brahmana must be teaching you something. Otherwise, he's not doing his duty. Okay? Okay, who will read the 3.5 and 3.6? 3.5 from Bhagavad Gita and 3.6 here.
I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes.
Text 5. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment.
A bit louder, please. Huh?
Okay. Karmendriyani samyam ya ashte manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudama
Atma. Yeah, correct.
Midyatma Midyachara Shauchayate.
Uchate.
Oh, sorry. Sa Uchyate. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender.
So Krishna is again, Krishna is direct to the point. He doesn't beat around the bush and he doesn't say it subtly, or he stays straight. That in 3.5 he says, everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has, acquires from the modes of material nature. If he has mode of passion, he will do certain things. If he is mode of goodness, he will do certain things. If he is mode of ignorance, he will do certain things. He is helpless. He's just like tied. He is tied by the ropes of this material world, and he's forced to do it. Even though he may not want to do it, but he will still fall down. A drug addict, sometimes don't want to take drugs anymore, but still he will go and fall down, and again he will come back to that. It's just not easy. Material life, to get out from, is not easy. So Krishna is saying that everyone is helpless. The Kauravas are all helpless. They are doing things which are not good because they have that mentality. So we should try and not have that mentality. Otherwise, we also will do all these bad things. all these things. So we should fine tune ourselves. So here he said that in 3.6, one who restrains the senses of action. You're trying to hold, but your mind is running away and wanting the enjoyment of these material things which are not good for you. See, this Babaji is a nice Babaji, but then he's thinking of Krishna, hopefully, but then he can't get rid of this smoking. So is he in a mode of goodness or mode of ignorance or mode of passion? Can someone say? What do you think? This Babaji is mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance?
Ignorance?
Huh?
Mode of ignorance?
Okay, anyone?
Passion, Passion, Prabhu.
Passion. Anyone else? Anyone says he's in the mode of goodness? So Krishna Kumari says is ignorance. He's not ignorant because he's trying to be at least a Babaji. You know, he is more in a mode of passion because he can't, can't give up. If he is like a Babaji, then he is cheating people and swindling them, then it's the mode of ignorance. But we cannot say that he's a swindler because we don't know from the photo. So most likely he is in the mode of passion. He is a pretender. You see, he's so attached to the phone, so attached to this. So I'm not saying it's bad. Maybe he's calling, someone is calling him for some purpose. So anyway, whatever it is, we have this. This is a very dangerous. Our mind is the first thing that will make us fall down. You know. Okay. So we have to be very careful because the mind will listen to the sense objects and get deluded. So if your intelligence cannot hold the mind properly and convince the mind, that you have to convince the mind, you cannot just control it. You have to convince the mind that this is not correct. And the mind must be convinced, then he can control the senses. Otherwise, the mind cannot control senses, senses control mind, mind control. There's mind control what? The intelligence. So it should be the other way around. The intelligence should control the mind and the mind can control the senses. Okay? So we go for 3.8 and then 3.9. Who would like to read? Volunteer?
Prabhu, can you guide me?
Yeah, first 3.8 you read from Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot maintain one's physical body without work.
Okay.
3.9.
Repeat after me. Huh?
Yeah.
Agnata
Yagnata
karmano nyatra
karmano nyatra
loko yam karma
lokoyam karma
bandana
bandana
tad artam
tad artam
karma kaunteya
karma kaunteya
mukta
sangha
amachara.
samachara. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you can see 3.8, perform your prescribed duty is better than not working. So Krishna is telling you directly, please do your work. And do it how you want to do. You have to do it as a sacrifice for me. You say, Krishna likes me to do this, my duty, nicely and in a dharmic way. You know, not that I be the prime minister and go and do corruption. No, that is not. If you are prime minister, do your duty as a prime minister, but not in a corrupt way. dharmic way, in a correct way. So as an offering to Vishnu, oh Lord, I'm being the Prime Minister. I will do it nicely because, of course, you want me to do it correctly and not do it in a crooked way. Correct? So in this way, when the king is is a very just king, and the prime minister is a very good prime minister, and all this, who benefit? The citizens benefit. The citizens benefit. Who will get happy? The citizens get happy. Krishna also get happy. He said, this person is doing the correct thing. I am happy. Krishna himself does the correct thing. And he expects everyone else to do the correct thing. If he didn't do the correct thing, he would just tell Duryodhan, I am very powerful. Okay, you just treat me nicely. I'll be happy. Whatever you do, do. You do bad to the Pandavas, it's also okay. No, you don't do like that. He's not, Krishna said, no. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So you must follow the Krishna style. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Cannot do this. So in this way, Krishna is giving us very nice idea of perform your for his satisfaction. For his satisfaction is meaning in a correct way. Krishna wants you to do it in a dharmic way. You know? So in this way, correct way, because he is righteous. Krishna is righteous. He don't like unrighteousness. So in this way, our dharmic way is we do our duty in a way which is righteous, right? So far, so good, huh? Any questions so far?
Prabhu, can I ask a clarification?
Yes.
The name Vishnu is mentioned here.
Yeah.
Is it translated from Yajna? It seems to be that way, right? Yajna Arthat.
Sacrifice for Vishnu. Yajna is actually sacrifice. 1 minute. Let me
Then,
check the forward.
because in some translations, it seems it can be for sacrifice or Lord Vishnu. Yajna Arthat. Only for the sake of.
Done for the sake of Yajna or Vishnu. Yajna is the sacrifice. Is when you're doing Yajna is a fire sacrifice to do to do prayers for Vishnu. So in this way, sacrifice, it comes to same thing, sacrifice for Vishnu. What is the other version that you have?
Okay, the version I had, Yajna Arthat, only for the sake of sacrifice or Lord Vishnu.
Yeah, sake of
that means they say
Vishnu. Yeah.
They say sacrifice or Lord Vishnu. So basically, we are doing the work for Lord Vishnu.
Yeah. Is that okay? You're right. So basically, you're doing right thing because Krishna wants you to do the right thing. Okay. Shall we proceed? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Remember in revision 1, this convict using knife for wrong purpose, doctor using correct purpose, terrorists using guns to get hold of the government so that they can enjoy and make all the other people suffer. And then this army is defending the country from terrorists like these people here, you know. So this is a situation. So we come to 3.10. Who would like to read this? Volunteer?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yeah. You can manage yourself or you need guidance?
I'll try. Saha Yajna Praja Shrachva Shrishwa Purovacha Prajapadi Anina Prasavisyadyam Isavo Stivista Kamadu. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu.
and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation." Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. You know, in Genesis, what they write, God created Adam and Eve. I think a lot of you know about that. But this is what Krishna is saying, how he actually did this creation. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures, which is himself, he sent forth generations of man and devas, along with sacrifice for Vishnu. That means the way to do prayers for Krishna, and bless them by saying, you will be happy by doing this sacrifice for Krishna. Because you do this performance, it will give you everything that you desire in this material world, to live happily and to get liberation. You need to get both. You need to get out of this material world. So this is a secret. The full secret is in this one verse, 3.10. You get it? You know, there's a lot of people, if you read some people, they say, if God created only Adam and one Eve, then how they got married? After that, how the children got married? You mean they married among themselves? So it's all some people say, maybe he created something else, maybe this, maybe that. This one, no, Krishna is telling very directly, I sent for generations of man meaning woman also, okay, please. In English term, when we say man, it includes woman, okay? It doesn't mean only man. Then how they get married and how they have children, right? And Krishna also have this devas. These devas all are the ones that are controlling the planets and planetary systems and making sure everything works exactly. It is stated that if there was no Jupiter planet, the Earth cannot exist, because the Jupiter is the one that balances the Earth because of its density. So you know, the scientists are keep on getting new realization, and there are 5-6 scientists, you super scientists. They say the more we learn about the scientific theories, and we learn about the planetary system, the more we are convinced that there must be a God. At first, they don't believe in God. The more they listen and the more they understand, they feel that it is if by chance the Earth is just created, it is impossible. You need Jupiter to be there. You need the other planets to be there. You need the sun to be there. It is impossible to have a planetary system if there is no God. So sometimes we say, oh, the scientists, the more we learn about scientists, the more we become convinced that there is no God. Actually, it's the other way around. The more we learn about science, the more we are convinced that there must be a God, because it's not possible. See, my hobby is I like to see all these videos, you know, about God, about science, and amazingly, this is what it's my hobby. I like. So this is what happens. So the more you know about science, the more you understand. You see, in our devotees who believe in God, we have a lot of scientists, we have a lot of doctors. All of them believe in Krishna. Why? Because they understand. They are scientists. What? Doctors are science. Astronomers, yeah, so many different professions in the science field. They are still believing in Krishna. Why? Because they understand that it is impossible for the world to go on if there is no God. Okay, so Krishna says, I want you all to be happy, you know. He once asked, we are his children, we fell down from the material world. He said, I want you to be happy. So what I want you to do is you follow this sacrifice, because when you do a good sacrifice, you can live happily here and your mind will be free to also be happy in spiritual life and to understand that this material world is temporary. We are going back to spiritual world. So this is what Krishna wants. He's such a lovely, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, is such a lovely person. None of us can ever reach the beauty of him. So it's not difficult to love him. The only thing is we have material eyes, we can't really see him yet. Okay, who would like to read this?
Me, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Text 3.11. Devan Bhava Yatanina Te Deva Bhava. Sorry. Te Deva Bhava Yantu Va Parasparam Bhava Yanta Shreya Param Avasyata. The
Good,
demigod. Sorry.
good, good.
Okay. The demigods being pleased by sacrifices will also please you, and this by cooperation between man and demigods, prosperity will reign
Rain.
for all. Reign for all.
So you see, Krishna has made this world. He says where I am Krishna, I have created demigod. So you do nice sacrifice. In the sacrifice, what we do is we do as per dharma. And when we are doing sacrifice, we are sacrifice, any fire sacrifice for Krishna. And then after the giving to Krishna, the devas get their share. So in this way, between the cooperation of man and devas, prosperity will be there. Krishna wants us all to be happy, but unfortunately, we are not doing it properly. The whole world is so selfish and don't want to do it in a proper way. There's so much untruth. There is so much corruption, there is so much selfishness, greed, envy, and lust. So then what happens? Everything becomes upside down. Okay, who would like to read 3.12, 3.13, and then 3.14 from this here? Who hasn't read yet? Please volunteer. Ravinda, you want to do?
Prabhu, which one again?
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, maybe the Mataji.
Okay, can. 3. Just now what we did, 3.10, right? We did. 11. So 12, 13, and then 14 here. 12 and 13 from the book.
Okay. So, so in charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yagya, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. 12 and 13. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin.
And here.
Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yashnat bhavati parjanyo yashna karma samudbhavaha. All living bodies subsist of food grains which are produced from rain. Rain are produced by performance of yagya, and yagya is born of prescribed duties.
Yeah. So basically, you have to be a good person, you have to be a dharmic person, and then everything is works like this. This is how Krishna wanted all of us to do. But unfortunately, everything is not as per. So we go back. In charge of the various necessities of life, Devas satisfy performance yagya When you satisfy the Supreme Lord, the Devas get their share. And they will supply all necessities to you. They also get satisfied. They will give you what you need. He who enjoys such gift without offering them to the Devas in return is certainly a thief. So basically, if you don't satisfy the Lord won't die. But then the Devas don't get. And then the Devas are not happy. And you will be considered a thief because you want everything for yourself. You don't want to share with everyone else. So this is the problem that will happen. You understand, huh? Y'all can hear so far? Is it clear? Loud?
Yes, Prabhuji, can.
The line is still okay, huh? Okay, then the devotees. If you become a good person, you do dharmic thing, you will become a devotee. He says, devotees of the Lord are released from all sinful kinds of sin. Why? Because they eat food first offered to Krishna. Others who eat food just for personal enjoyment and don't think of Krishna, then it's karma lah. You get some little karma. You get some karma. Okay, and all living bodies sustain, because you're self-centered, you get karma. If you offer to Krishna, you get zero karma. All living beings sustain on food grains. From the grains come for food grains. From the food grains, all the living entities are nourished. The animals eat food grains, then the meat-eating animals eat, and the meat-eating people eat the meat also. So from the food grains, everything starts. But if you do it correctly, then you will, then there will be prescribed duty you do, and the rain will come in the correct way. Everything will be perfect, but if not, then everything will be up and down. But somehow or another, anyway, Krishna gives rain. Whether you, in another way also, Krishna is even to non-devotees, he does give. But if you become devotional, the chances of having a nice weather and nice rain, you know, in Krishna's time, there was so much milk, more than people can drink. There's so much food, more than people can eat. But now you see there is a scarcity, right? Okay.
Sorry, Prabhuji, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
3.13,
Yeah.
the second line, when you say they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice, are we talking here about the yajna?
We are talking about yajna also when we offer, when whatever we cook, we offer to Krishna first.
Okay, so yeah, we are offering, but is it in the form of yajna?
Yajna, yes, it's a different kind of sacrifice. It's you're sacrificing your Krishna as a cooking for Krishna. Just cooking for Krishna, and Krishna gives you back as prasad.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
It's also a fire sacrifice also, and also this is also part of yajna. It's not
Prabhuji,
sacrifice, huh?
Prabhuji, 3.13,
Yeah.
here stated prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verify eat only sin. Can you explain on that sentence? The devotee of the Lord are released from all kind of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice.
Yeah, you see, plants, when you kill plants, also got little karma. Kill animals got more karma lah. So when you eat all these things without, I mean, meat you can't offer to Krishna, but if you eat plants without offering to Krishna, you get little karma. But a person who eats meat gets more karma because the higher form of life. Understand?
Okay.
So, but if you offer the plants to Krishna,
Mm,
the plants, I mean the vegetables to Krishna after cooking, the plants
mm.
get a higher birth, and Krishna takes away the sin and gives you back as prasad, which is sanctified food, which will, when you eat it, your sins actually will go away. That means instead of you acquiring a little more sin, you will actually be getting prasad and it will take away a lot of sins.
Oh, okay, so it's mean we need to serve to Lord first before we eat the food.
Hmm. Yeah.
And if let's say, okay, now okay, I'm not fully vegetarian. Now I'm eat chicken, I mean meat also.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
get
mean
some karma.
karma.
Lah. You get some.
Karma.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
If you eat
Thanks.
cow, you get big karma.
Oh yeah, the cow is big karma.
Yeah. Chicken is
Okay.
less karma, but if you are vegetarian and you
Mm.
don't offer, you still get little karma. There is still karma in plants.
Oh, okay. Understand.
That's why at least if you are cooking vegetables, at least you can offer to Krishna without onion garlic and then eat it. So at least some of your sins will go away.
Okay. Understand, Prabhu.
Yeah. At least vegetarian food you can offer, right? So at least you do it.
Okay.
Okay. Who would like to read 315 and 316? 315 from Bhagavad Gita, 316 from here. Volunteer?
Prabhu, 315, you want me to read the English only, right?
Yes, only.
Okay.
We cannot finish on thing.
315.
Yeah.
Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. 316. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartaya itiha yaha aghayur indriya ramo mukham partasa jivati. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So basically, if you are not interested in going back to the spiritual world, you lead a materialistic life and you get the good and bad actions as you do good and you do bad. So you get involved in karma, you know. You see, so if you are interested in going back to getting out from this material world, then you have to follow what is Krishna is telling. It's one way or the other, you know. If you want it this way, you do it this way. If you don't want, you still are saying, never mind, it's okay. I am just too much engrossed in all these things. So I don't think this lifetime I will make it. But anyway, even if you don't think you can make it this lifetime, at least you do some devotional service. You know, it's not that you don't do any devotional service. You do devotional service, next life you will benefit. You become a purer person and it's easier for you to go back. So we are not saying that, okay, this life I don't want, so I don't do anything. No, you don't want to do all these things. It's up to you. Krishna doesn't force you, but if you at least you do some service. You know, a person who is materialistic, but he still goes to a temple and he still gives some donation and he still does something devotional, that also Krishna is seeing. Okay, so this one Krishna is talking about, my dear Arjuna, who does not follow a human cycle of success. When we are human being, we are supposed to try and get out of this material world. Otherwise, we are just considered like a two-legged animal, because eating, sleeping, defending, and mating is there for both animals and humans. So our consciousness should be about trying to understand God and go back to the spiritual world. that is living only for satisfaction of senses, you live in vain. That means your life is wasted. You did nothing for the Lord. You know, you fully wasted your life. Okay? Okay, who would like to read 3:17, 3:18, 3:19, and 3:20?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yeah,
3:17.
louder a bit, huh? I can't hear you well.
Sorry. But one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. Text 18.
Louder a bit, huh?
A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. Text 19. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for not working without attachment, one attains the supreme.
Okay.
Text 20. 20. Prabhu, can I follow you?
Yeah. Karmanaiva
Karmanaiva
hi samasiddhim.
hi samasiddhim
Sorry. Hi samsiddhim
hi samsiddhim
astita
astita
janakadaya
janakadaya
loka sangraham
loka sangraham
evapi
evapi
sampasyam kartum
sampasyan kartum
arhasi.
arhasi. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna is saying, I'm doing my duty because people follow me. So same way also, you should do your duty. And Krishna, Arjuna, even Janaka, who knows who is Janaka, King Janaka, the famous Janaka?
Father of
Sita.
Sita's
Sita.
father.
Yeah, correct. You can see Ram and Sita is the father of Sita. It's a very, very good king, you know. That's why he can get Sita as his daughter. Otherwise, how to get? So in this way, of course, Sita is none other than Lakshmi. So anyway, he was a very good king. So he attained perfection by being a very good king and being a dharmic king. Right? So previous to this, Krishna is saying that a person who does not follow a human life, the cycle of sacrifice as written in the Vedas, you lead a life of sin. Only for satisfaction, you live in vain, right? 3:16. Then after that, he says, but if you take pleasure in the self, your Atma, he's talking about Atma, you please your Atma. How to please your Atma? Try and get it liberated from the material bondage. Your Atma needs liberation. Whose human life is one of self-realization. That means you are nurturing how to get out of this material world. You are helping the soul. You are doing things which are beneficial for the soul. And satisfy in the self only. That means you understand that the soul is the full. Whatever is good for the soul, I will do. What not good for soul, don't want to do. For him, there is no duty. There is no duty but to actually understand the Supreme Lord and go back to the spiritual world. But somehow or another, you have to do it in this. You must do it by doing your duties. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duty, nor has he reason not to perform such work. That means neither he should do it nor he should not do it. But then because it's his duty, he has to do it. Okay, that's why in this verse 320, he says that you do your duty and attain perfection doing it in a dharmic way. So that is the idea. Karma yoga is on this. After that, in chapter 5, Krishna again speaks on karma yoga on a different dimension. This is on this dimension. Okay. Okay, who would like to read this? Manju, you want to do?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yadad archati shretas tat ivataro janaham sayat parmanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
Yeah. So basically, Krishna is telling the leaders must be good. They must be dharmic. They must be sincere. They must be exemplary. Lord Ram came and Sita came to set an example to all of us. Firstly, he set example to the kings how to act correctly as a king. Secondly, he acts in such a way for men to follow how Lord Ram is following, and Sita is for the lady to follow how Mother Sita follows. So these are the actions which are very important. So he said the leaders should be pure and they should do it correctly. And then all the other people follow. And if that happens, the world is, everything is good, everyone will start going back to Krishna. Okay? Okay, who would like to read this? Who hasn't read yet? Anyone hasn't read? Darshini, you want to read this?
Yes, sir. I try, sir.
Okay.
Name partasti kartavyam trishu logeshu kinchana nanavapatam avaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. O son of Partha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor I am in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet am I engaged in prescribed duties. Thank you.
So you see, Krishna himself says, actually, I don't need to work. All these people in a materialistic world, let them go to hell. I don't care. Let them suffer. I don't care. He doesn't say that. Krishna says that I'm doing my duty. I don't need to do, but still I'm doing. Why? Because I want you all to actually also do your duty and also come. He is caring for us. So he's caring for us and we don't care for him and we don't care for ourselves. If we are not doing our duty and not trying to go back to the spiritual world, that means we are not really doing what is good for us. We are doing what is bad for us. Our whole life will be spoiled by working in such a way that we will just go and become more materialistic and suffer more. What's the point? That means we are like, what you say, hurting ourselves. So this is the situation Krishna is saying. I don't, you do it like that. What happened? You will only suffer more. Nothing happened to me. So in this way, Krishna is teaching, I am doing my duty purposely so that you all can understand and do your duty and all of you can come. I am giving you this mercy. I'm giving you this help. So take this help. Okay, who would like to read this? Who hasn't read yet? Viji, where are you?
Here.
Okay, you want to do this?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'll try. Yadi hyayam na varteyam jatu karmani atandritaha mama vart manu manu vartante manushya parta sarvasaha. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna is saying that if I don't do it, people also won't do. Everything will be bad. But I don't want that to happen. When Narada Muni came to see Krishna, Krishna treated him so nicely. Because why? Krishna is saying when any Brahmanas come, especially devotees come, you should actually treat them nicely. So when the Narada Muni comes to visit Krishna, he treats him very nicely. You can see how nicely Krishna is putting him on the chair, and then he also has his feet washed, sit nicely, give him nice prasad, give him good treatment. Krishna is setting example. He is not doing it artificially, by the way. He gets pleasure from doing it. So if we do it artificially, it is also not correct. We should understand, we should get the pleasure also. You want to love somebody, you do it artificially, you cannot really love somebody. It's not going to work. You should have, when you love somebody, there must be pleasure. The pleasure is there. Okay. So Krishna, Narada Muni visits the Krishna's palaces in Dwarka. So one day Narada Muni thought, Krishna has 16,108 wives. I told you the story of the 16,108 wives already, right?
Yes,
Yes,
you did,
sir.
Prabhuji.
Okay. So he says, how is Krishna making all of them happy? Because even you got more than one wife, even sometimes you got one wife also very hard to make a person happy, make the wife happy. And some people got 2-3 wives, even worse. But Krishna has 16,108. Let's see how Krishna, whether they are unhappy or what. Let's go and see. So Krishna went and he knocked the door of Rukmini, the chief wife. And then he went in and Krishna gave him lots of nice things. So anyway, Narada Muni was very happy. He said, oh, okay, Krishna now is in Rukmini's palace. That means the other 16,107 wives, there'll be no Krishna. Let's go and see. So he knocked on the next palace. And then opened, he saw Satyabhama. And Satyabhama asked him, please come in. And Krishna was there also with Satyabhama. He was very surprised. After he finished with that, he go to another wife, another palace. Again, Krishna was there. So then he could understand that only Krishna can split himself into 16,108 Krishnas to satisfy all the wives. All the wives thought Krishna is with me, is not with others. But actually Krishna is with everyone. And then not only the wives thought that Krishna was with them, then they were thinking that the Krishna is not with the gopis. But when you see the Krishna is with the gopis, Krishna is with Radharani. Oh, Krishna can split more than 16,108. He can split so many as his pleasure, so he splits. So in this way, Krishna and Narada Muni understood that there is a difference between Krishna and ourselves. If we think we have the same qualities as Krishna, but it's not the same same level. We have only limited level, limited amount. Krishna has full opulence. Okay. Then you can see all the different palaces he went. Krishna is there with everyone. Even he is there with, in one palace he was playing chess with his wife. Another palace he was listening to people. Another palace he was with his children. Another palace he was also, anyway, there were a lot of happiness. All the wives were very happy. Okay, who would like to read this? Kavita, you want to read?
Okay, Pooh. Daily activities of Lord Krishna. In early hours of the morning, Lord Krishna would rise from bed and bathe himself in clear water. Immediately sits down and meditate on himself. After that, he would offer oblations into the sacred fire, chant the Gayatri mantra, worship and pay tribute to the demigods, sages, and forefathers, and offer respects to learned brahmanas. Then he would touch auspicious substances, decorate himself with celestial ornaments. His next duty was to give cows in charity to the brahmanas. Every day, Lord Krishna used to give many groups of 13,084 cows. His next duty was to please all kind of men belonging to the different castes, both in the city and within the palace compound. Then the Lord would go to the assembly house known as Sudharma.
So this one is Krishna is acting as a king. So he will wake up early morning, because the king does all this. We also should do some things lah. We should wake up early morning, bathe, and then meditate on himself. Krishna meditate on himself because he's the Lord. Who else is going to meditate? But we meditate on him. Okay. After that, we do some mantras, worship, some deity, whatever you do, chant the Maha Mantra, okay, offer obeisances, and you may not be able to do everything that Krishna does. Of course, you can't give 13,084 cows. Not even one cow you have, how are you going to give? But anyway, the point is that we all should do something auspicious. Okay. And then he will go to assembly house known as Sudharma, because a king needs to go to an assembly house where people will come and then request something, and he will decide kingly duties lah. Okay, so that as a king he has to go to to his and listen to all the subjects what they want, their petitions and all that. So now 3:24. Who would like to read this? Ravinder, you want to do one more time?
Okay, bro.
Or your wife wants to do? Your wife, isn't it?
No, I'll do it.
Or your sister? Okay, you do
I'll do it, yeah.
Carry on.
Utsidayur ime loka na kuryam karma chit aham sankarasya cha kartashyam upahanyam imaha prachaha. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. This verse shows Varna Sankara is caused by not fighting, but not by fighting. Hare Krishna.
So, you can understand how Krishna is thinking, how Krishna is making Arjuna. Arjuna says that in chapter 2, that if I fight, kill all the people, the world will be put to ruination. Krishna is saying, I would be the cause of creating unwanted population. If I did not do my prescribed duty. What is Krishna's prescribed duty? Anyone would like to try? What is Krishna's prescribed duty?
He said in previous verse, he doesn't have any duty like.
Yeah, but he says something. Yada yada.
Oh,
So
okay.
what is his duty actually? Whenever there is a
Decline.
yes,
Decline in righteousness and rise in injustice. I'll come every age again and
yes,
again.
that is his duty as the Lord.
Hmm.
Yeah. So if I don't do this prescribe, I don't kill all these people, I will not be doing the duty. In the end, these people will be ruining the world. And then unwanted progeny will come. Because everyone will become very adharma. People will become demoniac. And therefore, all the peace in these living beings will be gone. So you have to do this and you have to kill. So basically, Krishna is turning it around and say, Arjuna, you by not doing it, actually what you're doing is you're not allowing me to fulfill my duty, and then everything will happen like this. What you are thinking is that you kill them, people will become bad. No, we're cleaning the place. When we cleaning the place, set stage for new situation to come. Righteous people to take. You get the idea? Huh? So here Krishna, when Indra was putting the rain, Krishna held the Govardhan hill. You all know the story, right, of this? Who don't know the story? All know, huh? Lifting the Govardhan hill. Okay. Anyone don't know? Okay. So we carry on. So someone can read 3, 25, 26, and 27 from the Bhagavad Gita.
I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes. That's it, huh?
25. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. Text 26. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. 27. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Yeah, thank you. As the ignorant perform their duty with attachment to result, if you become learned, you do it without attachment, because you want to lead people to the correct way of doing things. Show by example. So Krishna is telling the ignorant people are doing it wrongly, but you be intelligent. Nah? Why not you do it correctly and show by example? And then in 26, he said that the people should not, some people, they need to be wanting the result, then they will do the work. Otherwise, they will not do the work at all. And Krishna said, don't stop them, because rather than they not doing anything, at least they are doing with the desire for the fruits. That's better than not doing it all. You understand, huh? So he said, but then if you are a learned person, a clever person, you should not stop them. You should not say, hey, you are doing it wrongly, don't do. No, let them do, but you working in the spirit of devotion. Engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development. Supposing you see someone very, very much attached to the fruits of action, Don't stop him from working. Let him do. But you just tell him, oh, my friend, how are you? Why not you just take this Bhagavad Gita and read also? You know, you put some spiritual thing for him. Or you can say, oh, how are you? We need to build this temple. Can you do some donation for the temple? So in this way, don't stop them, but then engage them in doing some Krishna, some devotion service. This is some good. They are doing some. When they do this, they will start becoming their devotional lifestyle. That's why when Prabhupada went to the West, he said, I'm not stopping you from becoming a Christian. I don't want to stop you from doing whatever you want to do. You carry on. But why not you put Krishna inside? You see, Prabhupada is following exactly what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. So you also, when you do something, don't become fanatic and say, hey, you are doing wrongly. Don't worship the devas. You must worship only Krishna. Don't do that, please. This is wrong. People are attached to the devas, let them. Say, why not you pray to Krishna? That's all. Nothing wrong. You understand? Devas are devotee of Krishna, but you engage them also in the service. So Krishna is giving you a very, very clever way of encouraging people. He wants you to encourage. He don't want you to smash people. He wants you to light up their devotional fire. And he's teaching you how to light up the people's devotional fire. It can also be for yourself if you are a little bit very engaged in materialistic thing and you can't give up the thought of doing duty without thinking of the rewards. At least you can do some spiritual thing and start your spiritual journey. And he says in 27, the spirit soul, bewildered by false ego, think himself that he is the one who is doing everything. I'm the one who's making money. Actually, it's because of his karma, because of the mercy of Krishna, but actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. Because you do good karma, you will become, whenever you do some work, you will earn a lot of money. This is your karma, the three modes of material nature. You do bad things, you are in the mode of goodness, you do a lot of charity, you will become rich. This is Krishna is saying the fellow things that he is doing. Actually, he's not doing. It's just the activities that he is by the three modes of material nature. He's getting the reward. Karma is there. Okay. Okay. Who would like to read 28, 29, and 30? 30 from the 28, 29, 30. Don't be shy, volunteer. Darshini, you want to do one more time?
Okay, Prabhu, can I try?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. 128, text 28. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, almighty armed, does not engage himself in the sense and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. Text 29, bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached, but the wise should not unsettle them. Although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. Okay, 330, the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita.
Mataji, Sanskrit.
Yes, Prabhu?
You have to read the Sanskrit, it's on the board.
Okay, yes. Prabhu, just guide me through. I don't want to make a mistake here.
Mai sarvani karmani.
Mai sarvani karmani.
Sanyas yadatma chetasa.
Sanyasete ma chetas.
Yadatma.
Yatma.
Cetasa
Chetasa.
Nirasir Nirmano Bhutva
Niras. Nirmano Bhutava.
Nirasi Nirmano Mamo Bhutva
Nirmanmano Bhutava.
Nirasir
Nirasir. Nirmano Bhutava.
Yeah. Yudaswa
Yudasva.
Vigata Jwara
Vigata.
Jwara.
Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering, can't see somebody, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desire for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargic right. Hari Om. Sorry. Hare Krishna.
Basically, Krishna is giving us the signs. If you are in 28, one who is in knowledge of the absolute truth does not engage himself in sense gratification, the one that binds you to the material world and makes you addicted. Knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work for profit. That means you do as a duty. Okay? Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. You know, because why Krishna is saying in 28, don't do it, because you will get attached and you cannot come out from it. You can't come out from it. That means you can't leave the material attachment. Then how are you going to go back to the world? But the why should not unsettle them. Don't disturb them. Although these duties are inferior due to performers' lack of knowledge, you don't blame them. You know that they are doing this way. It's just that their knowledge, they are in a mode of ignorance or passion. So they are working according to this. So what you do is you yourself, Arjuna, you don't criticize other people. In 29, he said, don't criticize. You yourself surrender all your works to me, full knowledge to me, without desire for profit, no claim for proprietorship. You know that nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Krishna. Free from lethargy, that means don't become lazy. You must fight. Okay, so we must finish the 31, 32, 33. Who would like to read from the Bhagavad Gita?
I'll read, Prabhu.
Okay, please.
Those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follows this teaching faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruity factions. 32. But those who, out of envy, disregard this teaching and do not follow them are to be considered bereft of knowledge, befooled, and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. 33. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. What can repression accomplish?
Thank you. So again, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you can do what you want. If you are like this, like that, but you want to actually attain liberation. That's why you don't want to kill. You are not greedy for this material world. You're not greedy for the kingdom. You are thinking about people, how they will suffer. But so that is why Krishna is saying, who do their duty according to my injunction and follow me without envy, you will not get karma. And if you, out of envy, you don't want to follow this, you thinking you are the most clever fellow, and you don't want to follow me, and you don't realize that actually what is good for you, I'm teaching you, then what will happen? You will become person of inferior knowledge, and you become like a fool, become a fool, and you cannot get up. You will be ruined. That means you cannot get perfection. It's up to you, Krishna said. But you know, you want to become the perfection, this I'm telling you, you follow. And then he says that even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature. Sometimes even clever people, they also, because of their attachment and all that, they may be in a mode of passion or mode of goodness or mode of ignorance. They are not in the mode of above the even the mode of goodness. You're supposed to come above the mode of goodness also. That is why in chapter 5, Krishna will tell you how to come out from the mode of goodness. Now he's just telling at least up to mode of goodness, and also he starts telling also. He's giving you a hint. So he said, you want to suppress yourself. How are you going to suppress? You have to, you cannot like tie yourself and force yourself. You must try and get the idea what is good for you and follow. You know, you tell the child, hey child, follow me. Don't do this, don't do that. And you don't explain to the child why you should not do, why and all that. At least you explain and try and get the person to understand why he should not. You understand? Krishna is telling like this. So who would like to read after this? 34, 35, 36. Who would like to read?
Can I read again?
Can you read 2 times already?
I just came in only.
Okay, and we give someone else a chance. If not, you take over.
No problem.
Huh?
You want me to read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, okay.
Text 34. There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. Text 35. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duties perfectly. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous. Text 36. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful? By what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so you see, Krishna is keep on explaining. It is better. There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion. He's going to explain later on how to not be attached to the senses. You know, how to regulate your senses. You should not come under the control of the senses. Attachment to certain thing or don't want certain thing. I don't want to do this, even though it's good for me. I don't like. Or attachment, I like to do this, even if it's not good for me, I want to do. You understand, huh? What it means? That means I want to do even though it's not good for me. And then the other one is aversion. I don't want to do even though I'm supposed to do and it's good for me. Okay, so he says don't come under this control because you cannot get self-realization from that. And then it's better to discharge one's prescribed duty even though faultily than another duty perfectly. Because if you are a warrior, you better do your duty. You don't pretend you are a sadhu and be a bogus sadhu Your mind is always in thinking about fighting and all that, and you're trying to do preaching. This is rubbish, you know. So in this way, he's saying that it's better to be a bad soldier if you are a Kshatriya than to be a good Brahmin. You will never be a good Brahmin. This is all, it's only talk only, because your heart is not there. How can you be a good Brahmin? You'll be a devious Brahmin. Finally, he's telling Arjuna it's dangerous, because you become a good Brahmin, you won't be a good Brahmin, you'll be actually a worse Brahmin. You become a Tipu Brahmin, you call it, person who is not truthful. So then Arjuna is asking, oh Krishna, how, by what is, why the person do sinful thing even though he don't want to do? It's a very important thing now Krishna is speaking, that Arjuna is asking a very important question. Why are we doing something when we know it's not good for us? Right? Okay, who wanted to read just now? You can read. Vijay, is it? Who read? Who wanted to read just now?
Okay.
Okay, you read 37, 38.
Okay. 37. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all devouring sinful enemy of this world. 38. As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of this lust.
Okay,
Thank
Krishna
you.
saying that the root of all evil is lust. That's why Krishna says, do your duty without thinking of the result, because you are lusting for the results. You don't get it, you get big tantrums, you get big unhappiness, and you get big anger. You see? So this is why he said, then you will, because you're so attached to the things. You're so crazy about money, someone come and tell you, oh, come, you invest money. Every month I give you 20%. Wow, very good, huh? Take all my money. In the end, if 20% don't come, you don't even see the fellow, all 100% gone away. You see? So that's why Krishna say, don't do that. You do your duty without thinking of the result. You think about, people ask you, okay, invest with me, I give you 20% every month. You don't be greedy for the result. See whether the fellow is genuine or not, whether it's really possible or not. You know, something that's too good to be true is you are too much attached to lust. So that's why all these problem comes, because you are too much into greed. You know, when you are too much into greed, you get so much attachment, and you get angry you also when you don't get. So this is a very bad, it makes you do a lot of sins. And Krishna says, as the fire is covered by smoke, you know, where they say that in English, there is no smoke without fire, right? I think you know this proverb. Anyway, there is a proverb in English. That means that if you see smoke, there must be fire. So when you see smoke, you know there's fire. And when you see a mirror and it's not clean, it will be dusty, right? And then when there is a baby, embryo is covered in the womb, you can't see the embryo. The living entity is in different degrees of this lust. It's all because of this different degree. Mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, all that. Okay, who would like to read 39, 40, 41? We are overboard already. So more than 9 o'clock. 39, 40, 41.
Who you want me to read?
Yeah, okay.
Thus, a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Text 40. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust, which veils the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. Text 41. Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning, curb this great symbol of sin, or lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So Krishna is explaining how to, that what is the reason for us doing all this materialistic thing and sinful things and all that, and how to stop it by regulating your senses. And you destroy this, yes, and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. Lust is the one that destroys your knowledge and self-realization. Krishna says also in Bhagavad Gita, lust, anger, and greed are the three gateways to hell. Okay. All right. Who would like to read 42 and 43, the last? Kalyani, you want to read? (42 and 43) from the Bhagavad Gita. Kalyani?
She's muted.
Louder, please.
I think she's muted.
Huh? Come again. You can't, something wrong, is it? Okay.
Prabhu, I can read, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. Can you?
Text 42. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. Text 43. Thus knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust.
Yeah, so Krishna is giving the secret how to conquer the insatiable energy known as lust by being Krishna conscious. Okay, so and also he's telling the hierarchy. The senses, working senses, are superior to the body. The mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is higher than mind, and the soul is the highest. Okay, so if you from the soul can control the intelligence, intelligence control the mind, mind control the senses, senses control the body. Perfect. Otherwise, everything is imperfect. So here we come back to Arjuna's reason for not fighting. Compassion for friends and family was in chapter 1. No enjoyment victorious in chapter 1. Fearful of sinful reaction, destruction of family tradition. And how does Krishna defeat him? He said, self-realization is the best. Happiness comes from doing your duty without attachment. Fight for the duty. Be dharmic in your profession. Vana Sankara is caused by not fighting and not by fighting. So very nice, Krishna is very fundamental. So it's not easy, but it's worth to chant every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This next week we'll do chapter 4. So any question? everything. So it took a bit longer than normal.